The topic today, synchronicity. Psyche, brain, organ. With the first biological law of nature, the iron rule of cancer, we have the third criterion, which says that the course of conflict is synchronous on all three levels: psyche, brain, organ. We only think of these on three levels, in order to be able to work with them more easily. In reality, however, the individual is an inseparable unit. The term, individual, comes from Latin, and means indivisible. Thus, it is possible at any time, to conclude from one level to the other two levels. The Germanische Heilkunde, the therapist will always consult all three levels, in order to be able to determine the DHS clearly and, if necessary, also the conflict resolution. The DHS is the pivotal point in Germanische Heilkunde, because the therapy must be derived from the DHS. If there is already a healing phase in the affected person, the conflict resolution that took place must also be found. How was the patient able to resolve this conflict, and at what point in time? This allows us to estimate the conflict load, and thus the healing phase. We can also thereby recognize whether there are tracks or not. For the patient himself, this understanding of the synchronicity of his three levels is fundamental. On the one hand, this helps him understand the reason why he has his symptoms, and on the other hand, he sees himself in a position to act wisely. So he understands how long his healing phase will last, and does not despair. Or he understands that he has to change something in his life, to get better. The affected person is not helplessly at the mercy of the therapy, as in conventional medicine, but actively contributes to his therapy. He is the therapy, and will only need an emergency physician as a mechanic in an emergency. If an oncologist wanted to explain that he needed chemo, the patient would laugh at him. Out of 100 cancer patients, 80% will recover spontaneously without conventional medicine, provided they are not frightened and panicked. A study from France, by Marc Frechet, shows that 85% of cancer patients were alive after 9 years. These patients had these connections explained to them, and no one frightened them. At the moment, however, we do not have such a helping hand ready, unfortunately. The deep state prevents it until today. Therefore, we ourselves must learn to understand it, and that is why my motto is, inform yourself while you are healthy. So that you, dear student, can better understand how to deal with these three levels. I would now like to fly through this Hummer compass with you. Using various special programs, we will now discuss point by point, and phase by phase the Hummer's compass. As well as all this simultaneously and synchronously on these three levels: psyche, brain, organ. We have three salient points: the conflict resolution, and the crisis. We have four phases: the health, the conflict active phase, the healing phase, and again the health. We have all of this synchronously at the three levels. So, from a purely mathematical point of view, we have 4 plus 3 times 3 equals 21 criteria. For each individual criterion, the 5 biological laws of nature must apply at all times. So we have 5 times 21 and thus over 100 facts that can be queried. And this only with a single special program. If the person concerned has several special programs running at the same time, everything is multiplied. That all this should be true purely by chance is so absurd. Especially since it can be reproduced from millions of people in every next patient case. In other words, the probability that the Germanische Heilkunde is correct in the scientific sense is 1. It is certainly not possible for us medical laymen to verify these facts exactly. Who can read a brain CT? I can't. And you probably can't either. But nobody knows your organ level and your psyche better than you do. And it always runs synchronously. If you have a symptom and can interpret the organ level, you know which conflict you have to look for in yourself. And this conflict is still timely at the first appearance of the symptom, and one can remember it relatively well. And with the conflict, we know the cause. According to the motto, danger recognized, danger averted. You also know what to do now. You can keep the conflict load and thus healing phases low. One can help oneself highly efficiently. One rises, figuratively speaking, for the first time from his involuntarily controlled animal body, and learns to live willfully. In such a way that one becomes healthy and remains so. The Germanische Heilkunde can show a way out of this civilization scrap society. Actually, we would only have to pay attention to our biological code. Let's start with absolute health. What does it mean to be absolutely healthy? In absolute health, we have the normal day-night rhythm present. During the day, we are sympathicotonic, and our ergotropic organs are innervated, such as the brain, heart, skeletal muscles, etc. During the day, we are in everyday stress. We have to work or go hunting. Our hands are cool during the day. At night we are vagatonic, and our trophotropic organs are innervated, like the digestive system. We sleep. Our body rests and draws new energy. Our hands are warm. You know this phenomenon. When you go to bed later than your partner and snuggle up to him, he feels boiling hot. However, your partner is not sick and does not have a fever. Because of his vagatonia, his vessels are dilated. On the level of the psyche, one would be in absolute health, and utterly free of obsessive thinking. Every conflict gives us obsessive thinking immediately. Our brain immediately looks for a solution to the problem. One dreams one's unresolved conflicts at night. Therefore, in absolute health, one has no recurring dreams. And there is no difficulty falling asleep, or staying asleep. There is no Hamer focus at the cerebral level. Neither a shooting disc active, nor edematized in the healing phase. The brain would be a virgin. Old, scarred Hamer foci, where the healing phase has long since been completed, may well exist. Scars remain, as on the organ level so also in the brain. However, such scars usually do not disturb at all. At the organ level, there is no excessive cell proliferation, no excessive cell loss, and no functional failure at any organ. If one looks over all sensible biological special programs, SPS, one can distinguish these three different groups. So this individual would not have a single special program running, and would be absolutely healthy. Honestly, I don't know a single person who doesn't have at least one special program going on. I only need to take myself here. My hair is getting less and less every year, which suggests an active separation conflict. My eyesight is getting worse, suggesting fear in the neck conflict. My teeth are not in good condition, which suggests biting conflict. My low back sometimes makes itself felt, which suggests a self-esteem slump. My diaphragm occasionally causes me shortness of breath, which suggests an overwhelming conflict, etc. I certainly have about 10 different special programs running, every now and then. And with you, it will probably not look much different. Go through all your little complaints once in a while, and you will come up with a similar number. In middle age, these are the various scars of the previous life. The more unbiological the form of society, the sicker the people. However, one is considered healthy despite the ongoing special programs, only because one has not yet been examined from head to toe by a conventional physician. If one would do that, he would indeed find something. Note: in conventional medicine, anything with an excessively high cell division rate is considered evil. When does conventional medicine actually diagnose cancer? What is cancer? Pulmonary nodule. Let's assume you are a bank employee, and the supposed customer holds a gun to your chest. You shockingly associate your imminent death. The customer is stored in your memory as a track. From now on, every customer is a potential bank robber for you. At least, that is how your subconscious has stored it. As of now, you are allergic to customers. With a conflict relapse, that keeps restarting the special program lung alveoli. On the brain level, you have the Hamer focus in the two brain relays right and left in the brainstem for the pulmonary alveoli of both lungs. This Hamer focus arises instantaneously with the DHS, and is disc-shaped, sharp-ringed. For the conflict active phase, it remains unchanged and does not cause any space-occupying lesion. Thus, brain symptoms are not present. At the organ level, starting with the DHS, you have cell proliferation of the pulmonary alveoli. And many pulmonary round foci develop bilaterally. How does the conventional physician determine whether the tumor is benign or malignant? When a cell divides, it has doubled its cell nucleus shortly before its division, and is therefore larger than a cell that is not currently dividing, and has only one cell nucleus. Therefore, the conventional physician takes a tissue sample and, under the microscope, counts off the large cells. If he finds more large cells than he would find in healthy tissue with a regular cell division rate, he makes a diagnosis of evil. These lung alveolar cells continue to divide, until this death scare is resolved. So, the lung round foci get bigger and bigger.
Germanische Heilkunde is considered the greatest discovery in the history of humanity, by those people who have understood its underlying principle. While classical medicine is based on more than 5,000 hypotheses, the Germanische Heilkunde can be considered as the only medicine, which is scientifically verifiable. With Germanische Heilkunde, for the first time in the history of humanity as we know it, there is a medicine with which any patient case can be reproduced in a strictly scientific manner. More than 30 different universities have already confirmed this in the past. Nevertheless, the discovery of Dr.Hamer has been suppressed and denigrated for over 30 years. Take your health into your own hands, and learn about Germanische Heilkunde, while you are still healthy. Helmut Pilhar, one of 3 lecturers, officially appointed by Dr. Hamer for Germanische Heilkunde, offers you an extensive and complete seminar collection for this purpose, which is now also to be translated into the English language. This knowledge will change your view of conventional medicine, forever. You can find a direct link to Helmut Pilhar's seminar videos in the description, below this video.